Hi, my name's Sam. I'm the Wheelhouse manager here at Gulo Composites, and today we're going to talk through some tips for winterizing your bike. So for this video, we're going to go over the 5 things that I do to get my bikes ready for winter riding. And we're going to cover mud protection, frame protection, which is going to cover our bearings, our headsets, our bottom brackets. We're going to look at brakes, tire changes, and then miscellaneous things I do. When we talk about mud protection, the first big obvious one is using mud guards. These are great for you personally to keep the mud off you, keeps you dry, a little bit drier, a little bit warmer through those rides. And it's also a nice thing if you're riding in groups, especially on the road. If you have a good mud guard that covers most of your rear wheel, you're spraying up less mud, the guy behind you is going to be happier, and you'll just have a better day all around. The second thing I like to do to all my bikes during the winter is to use some kind of spray like silicone spray. This is great, especially in your mountain bikes, because mud's just going to stick less easily to the frame. So you're going to shed mud, have a lighter bike, and just have less to clean at the end of the day. And also your bike looks great at the start of every ride. So stage number 3 of getting my bike ready for winter is to prepare my brakes. First thing I'm going to do is do new brake pads in the front and rear, and maybe new rotors if it's been a great summer and lots of riding's been done. My next thing is tape. I'm going to take something like Gorilla tape or a good strong tape, and I'm going to cover the top of my calipers on whether it's the road bike, gravel bike, mountain bike with the tape. This is just going to prevent all that extra dirt, mud, little pieces of stone getting into your brakes through the winter. It's going to help improve the longevity of your pads and your pistons and your rotors as well. And then the last thing with our brakes is we're going to clean them really well after every ride. Even though we have them taped and that's preventing a lot of material getting in, you're still going to have a lot of small bits of dirt and debris. So thing number 4, and is our final kind of change that we're going to make to the bike, is our tire choice. Depending where you live, this will be more or less important, and depending on the style of riding that you're doing, again, will be more or less important. If we're riding on the road, then changing tires is going to have less of an effect. We're maybe going to go to a thicker casing, something with a little bit more grip than we've ridden in the summer, but we can keep running that summer tire until it's worn out. Whereas mountain biking, we're going to be starting to think, do we need a wet tire or a tire with a little bit more tread, or something that's going to shed mud, depending on where we live, depending on the area that you live in. So if you have any questions or you're unsure about the type of tire that you should choose, you're kind of lost in the weeds of mud tires, gravel tires, street tires, enduro tires, double downs, single wall casings, then head to your local bike shop, ask them, and they'll be able to help you out with the best tire for where you live. So to wrap things up on this video about winterizing your bike, I'm just going to give you a couple of things that I like to do for the winter. Thing number 1 is to carry a little bottle of chain lube around when I ride. This is just in case I have a particularly wet ride or multiple water crossings, then I can just add a little bit of lube and keep things running. I'm also a big fan of keeping spare hand warmers and toe warmers in with all my spares. So either in my saddlebag on my road bike or just in my riding pack for mountain biking, just in case it's a really cold ride or someone has a puncture and you're kind of hanging around for a bit. Having hand warmers goes a long way to keeping things a bit happier. These are just some of the things that I like to do, and hopefully they were useful to some people and some things you maybe hadn't thought about. If you guys have any ideas or anything that you do that we didn't cover, we'd love to hear it.